Flat earth beneath my feet, knowing I'm here to meet. Ocean's edge, it calls my name. Purpose in this life's game. Horizons line so clear, God's love brings me near. Flat earth made by him, my journey long yet thin. Purpose found in every day, guided by his gentle sway.
Yo, Flowers, what's up? Good to see you all. Thank you for coming. I'm glad you could make it. Yeah, it's going to be exciting. Going to be a debate between myself and Marcus Allen versus FTFE and Daryl. I am still waiting for the link from Modern Day Debate, so we'll see when they send it through, but it should be any minute now. But it's good to see you guys. Really appreciate you all. Glad you guys can make it. If you haven't already, hit the likes, share the show. Really do appreciate it. I do see Derek Nelson in, Jim Anus. What's up, man? Hey, good Sergio. Good to see you, man. Better than gold. PJ, Michael, Shifty Eyes. What's up? But it's going to be fun. I actually made a nice presentation for this night. I could have got more topics to talk about, but I think tonight I'm going to concentrate practically just on one topic. I'm going to try to keep it down to the surface of Earth because I do see globies suffer with that. So it's going to be quite an interesting thing. What's up, Geometria? Good to see you too, man. Glad you could make it. Hope you guys are all doing well. So yeah, we're just actually waiting for the link. Then we can go live. Let's hope for all the best that there's going to be a smooth link between us while we're busy doing the debate. What's up, David Banner? Good to see you too, man. I have no idea who Daryl is, mate. I've never heard of the guy. But yeah, I'm happy to have Marcus on my side because Marcus is actually he's an intelligent guy. Truth, what's up? Good to see you too, man. Glad you could make it. I'm excited about this. I have to admit it is a bit of a weird time because it's difficult now because it's 5 to 6 p.m. I had to rush to get the kids bathed and make supper and everything. I didn't really have time to make myself supper, so I ate cereal. But yeah, I'll be fine. Remember, guys, after this, the debate, I will be having an after show normal time at 9 p.m. Central African time, so make sure you guys are also there. What's up, PJ? Good to see you, man. I don't know why they haven't sent the link yet. It is 5-2. Usually by now the link should be here. Let's see. Let me just email back. Link yet? I hope the sound is fine, guys. Hey, Jeff Conker also in the house. What's up, man? Glad you could make it. I have changed some settings on the restream here. Hopefully it's going to work for the stream because usually we have issues for some odd reason. I have no idea why, but I do set, so hopefully it's going to be working quite good. Cool. You go as well in the house. What's up, man? Thank you for coming. I did email them now to ask where's the link because it is 5-2. Usually they send it about 22 or 1:45, and it's just nothing yet. So, hey, we wait. By the way, guys, when I was on David's stream today, David Banner, he's having issues with his PC. I don't know what the issue could be, David. Don't you think it could be your graphics card just can't handle the load? Maybe we should look at helping you get a graphics card or something, or it could be that it's just getting very hot because it usually happens when you're late in the stream, like you said. So might have to look at that. Yeah. Okay. Oh, Shifty built a focal to Benjamin University. That's quite interesting. Okay. Nope, still nothing. This is quite troubling. Usually by now we've got a link. So we might be starting later on their side for some odd reason. So yeah, if you guys do hear children in the background, you'll know that my children are running around. So hopefully that's not going to be the case. That they'll keep a bit quiet. Let's see, anybody. I do, however, have to say there's a lot of trolls hating on me for some odd reason in the modern day debates comment section. So it's really weird. What's up, Rethink? Good to see you too. Glad you could make it. Oh, he says he's quoting FTFE. Okay, that makes sense. I highly doubt he's done any of those things. Okay, I got a Gmail notification. I think it has come. Yes, okay. So let's get into the live. This is going to be exciting stuff. Open Zoom meetings, launch. Here we go. Missing meeting. Ooh, okay, I just got to get the code quickly. Password. There we go. Copy. Oh, man. Sorry. Open Zoom meeting. Okay. Just waiting for it to quickly. Putting the code in. Join meeting. It's going to be good. You guys rock. Really appreciate you all. Let me test my sound. Speaker, USB. Oh, no. Yeah, no. Select microphone on this. I have to. Testing 1 2 1 2. Video. USB. It's not seeming to work. I might need to cancel my video on my end, and then I'm gonna share it on their side. Let's get this one as USB. Okay, get that out like that. See if that's gonna work. Choose USB for them. Okay, that's working for there. I might have to do something like this where I get. Okay. Let's see. I'm gonna share. Window. There we go. Okay, share. Get that as big as possible. Okay, I made big. Okay, and then I'm gonna have to unmute, and then I'm gonna have to change my audio to make it. There we go. Okay. Okay, let's move along. Sorry about that. Gotta get all my settings right before I go in. That's the problem. Testing 1 2 1 2. Okay, it's not working. Speakers, Realtek. There we go. Microphone. Testing 1 2 1 2. Okay, let's check if it's working, guys. I hope so. We'll see. Testing 1 2. Okay.
All right, there we go.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Hi, Flatzoid. How are you? What's going on? How you doing?
Good, and yourself? Is everything sounding fine?
Yes. Sounds good to me.
Cool.
Is there any way, it's not a big deal, Daryl, it'll simplify it a little bit. Are you able to share your screen just from the laptop that you're on? Like when you do need to share your screen, it's ideally we'll have fewer windows like in the Zoom, but we can make it work if it has to be the case. All right. If you give me a moment to send the
stuff to my laptop, to my pad. Yeah, I could do that. Give me a moment.
Okay.
And I'll send it over and add it to my slides.
You got it. Thank you. Let's see. Marcus, I'm sure will be here any moment. And then it's not a big deal if it's a challenge, like if it's a hassle. But otherwise, I've got to adjust the Zoom windows.
A few minutes. It's not hard.
Okay. And then let's see. Let me just check to see if Marcus got that email for sure. And then, but yeah, it's hope you guys are having a good day so far.
Well, it's good to finally, James, have you as a moderator. The first time. Usually.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I just realized that myself. Yeah, I would not have. Yeah, it's going to be a tremendous time. And but yeah, it's good to see you, Daryl, again, and fight the flat Earth. It's been a long time. I feel like
that's correct.
How long has it been? I think for both Daryl, you, and Fight the Flat Earth, I think it's been a long time since I've hosted you personally. But Daryl, I'm trying to remember when the last time was.
That was Wotan. Wotan in like 2018 or 2019, something like that.
Holy smokes. That was Fight the Flat Earth's buddy, Wotan. They used to be pals. That was oh, we can't hear you. Let me unmute you, Fight the Flat Earth. I just clicked ask to unmute, so it should. Oh, he might be talking to his own stream. But long story short, that's so funny. Wotan, he was like the Boston, brawler, right? Wasn't he like a scrappy?
He was heated.
Yeah, that guy was pretty funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was entertaining. Although the funny thing is, eventually, he was voted like back before Modern Day Debate. There was another channel that would host him, and he was voted as like the most entertaining speaker. And they weren't even like a Flat Earth channel. It was like a Globe, Atheist Globe channel, and they nonetheless were like, wow, this guy is just super entertaining. But then, like after a couple of years of us hosting, I think people just got maybe tired of him. I don't know. Well, because a lot of his stuff. A little bit nervous about Marcus. Let me just double check that he's still coming. Marcus.
How you doing, Keith?
Good on yourself.
Not bad, mate. But weird to do this so early, but
Yeah, I'm also not used to it. I was expecting 5 a.m. this morning.
Yeah, it's light here. Everyone's confused.
I got it worked out. I'll be able to share on my no problem, by the way.
You got it.
Yeah. My kids are running around, so I'm gonna try to mute every time I don't talk.
No problemo. We might as well do sound tests while we're waiting on Marcus. So let's see. We'll go from the top of the list that I have here. Daryl, if you can give me a quick 1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
Excellent. And then Fight the Flat Earth, please.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
Tremendous. And then Flatzoid.
Testing 1, 2, 3. Pizza and pie.
Oh, okay. Perfect. Everybody's like very well matched in terms of volume. That's great. Let me just okay, Marcus just emailed me.
So how's that tattoo on your back doing? Last time I checked, you got that big tattoo of Subway or something.
It is so good. I was just thinking about it yesterday. So basically, I'm a huge Subway fan. Nobody likes Subway more than me. Tremendous Subway. Although the funny thing is, oh man, it's pricey.
Yeah, I don't have way more than it used to be.
Yeah, I don't have an infinite amount of Subway. Don't get me wrong, I'm not complaining, I'm grateful. It was a lot of gift cards, but it is, you know, even with all those gift cards, I'm like, it's like $15 a sub. I'm like, $15 for a sandwich, and I get that it's full on, it's a big sandwich, but it's still like, it's a lot of money. And then if you get a bowl too, you know, it's like, this is $15. Like, I went out to like a sit down, like a nice little Mexican sit down restaurant last night, and it was like 15, maybe $17 tops, but you could pay 17 for a Subway pretty easily for a foot long. So,
But family to Subway, it costs the same as pretty much going to a much nicer restaurant, you know?
okay, yeah,
You guys are lucky. We don't have a
100%.
Subway here.
You say I haven't gotten into a habit of liking it?
No, we never get Subway in South Africa, so we don't have.
No kidding, really? I
They
had
just
no
make their own.
idea.
Hey, Marcus.
Marcus, glad to see you. Let me see here. It might be, let me check here, Marcus. There it is. I think Marcus's mic might not be connected yet, so let me just quick send him an email.
No, it's all right.
Oh, excellent. I hear you.
Yeah, I can hear you. I just hadn't said a word at that point. Hi, guys. Nice to see you all.
Greetings, Marcus. We've never spoken.
No, we haven't, but we have now.
Yes, we have. That's very, very true. Nice to meet you.
So things are going to get more interesting from here on. Hello, Flats.
Good to see you, Marcus. I'm so happy to team up with you, man. It'll be awesome.
Well, yes, possibly. I don't know. I've got some things to say.
Juicy. Let's see, Daryl, not a big deal. I can rearrange it in OBS, but are you able to use your one login?
Oh, I forgot to remove my pad. Sorry about that.
No problem. And all right, there we go. Let's see. I'm just gonna adjust the positions here, and we'll be ready to go. So it'll be a fun time. I hope you guys. Let's see. If you have any,
What format are we running, James?
let's do, and this is flexible, so we can change this if you guys want. 12 minutes per team. In other words, about 6 minutes per person for the opening. If you guys want a little bit longer, like that's okay. So if you're like, well, I kind of prepared like for 8 minutes, we can do as long as like 15 minutes per team. It's not a big deal. And then, yeah, pretty quick after that, we'll go into the open dialogue. And by that, I mean immediately after the opening. And then we'll go into the Q&A. And especially if anybody has a time commitment, let me know. I'm happy to honor that. I don't want to keep you guys here too long. I know that
I'm not still streaming in 4 hours time. I'm okay because I've got another stream then.
you got it.
Yeah, I just got off
That sounds
the show
good to
at
me
9.
as well.
I just got off the show at 9, but I can move it on. It doesn't matter.
You got it. And I've just put one last little OBS picture in here, and then we'll be ready to go. And cool. There it is. We'll do a quick, Marcus, can you do a quick 1, 2, 3 for me? I want to do a sound test really quick.
Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Mary had a little lamb. She also had a UFO. Everywhere that Mary went, she got abducted.
Perfect.
That's my
Love
son.
it. Excellent. Right where we need you. I'm kind of wondering if OBS is getting to the point where it like balances everyone out on its own, because it's just really good.
But thinking we should actually do a moon landing thing because that is Marcus's forte, so we should look at doing that sometime. I know Marcus is really excited for that, so I think.
Yeah, definitely do that. Definitely.
100%. No.
Moon Rock here. Moon Rock. Hi guys. Moon Rock. I have my own.
I'm totally open to that. I am totally open to a moon landing debate. That could be fun. That sounds cool.
Oh,
yeah.
It always is. Moon landing debates always end in exciting discoveries.
That's epic.
What moon landing, I hear you say? There never was one. It's all a fabrication.
Take that, Craig. How do you like them apples?
All right.
You can save it for the discussion. My evidence is pretty convincing.
Sorry, what are you convincing about?
Well, if we want to do a moon landing debate, this stuff happened then. I've got pretty convincing evidence.
Well, that it happened or it didn't happen?
It definitely did happen, yeah.
Oh, well, I can definitely counter anything you say about that.
We'll see.
Let me just, one last thing. I think the stream might have gone to a different channel. There, okay, it did go where I expected.
Only fan.
Who would like to go first? Which team?
Darryl, I'm happy if they go first. Do you?
Yeah, I'm fine if they go first.
Doesn't matter to me. Marcus,
Cool. And then
Marcus, you want to start it off because out of respect, you're the oldest. So.
Well, yeah, you see, this is the problem because I don't actually believe the Earth is flat.
Yeah, I know.
So
That's the problem. That's what I was saying. I thought it would be the moon landing. But
Let me get this straight. You two are not flat earthers. You don't think the Earth is flat?
I say flat. Marcus isn't a flat earther. He understands
Marcus
that the
is
moon
not.
landing has never happened.
Okay.
Yeah, because the original plan was supposed to be moon landing wouldn't happen, and then it was changed to flat Earth globe.
Oh, so that, I'm sorry, I screwed this up. Do I understand right? Marcus, you're a globe earther.
Basically, yes.
I'm a moron. I just didn't know that. I did a poor job of communicating. I thought you were
I'm
flat.
happy to debate all three of them if you want. It can make it exciting too.
I mean,
The audience doesn't like that. Let's see. It's always, everybody wants that because they're like, yes, it'll look good for me to debate 2 or 3 people at a time. But let me think about. There's no chance you guys would be. I mean, just because I've screwed up, it's my fault. Is there any chance you guys would be open to a moon landing debate?
Let me see if I've
Right
got one of my
now.
old presentations still. If I do, then I don't mind.
I'm first on moon landing stuff, so.
well, I'd be interested to hear what Flatzoid's perspective is on the flat Earth, because I have a particular viewpoint about it as well, but I don't think we're going to agree on very much.
If like the flat earth says he has a lot of good evidence, I mean, I don't mind sitting along and adding stuff where I can.
Well, we can do the moon landing. It's fine. It doesn't matter with me. I can just keep
One at a time.
I can keep my flat Earth one for another time. It doesn't matter because I do have my old moon landing presentation here as well, so I can go through that. Fine.
I just feel like it's not fair to Darryl because he's obviously presented something that was appropriate to this.
Yeah,
I
I
good for-
made a presentation specifically for this, but like I said, Marcus isn't really.
What about if me and Flatzoid talk about flat Earth and FTFE and Marcus talk about moon landing?
I would, but
Might be convoluted.
that's a really good idea. The only thing is I'm like, 2 topics in a single debate. I don't know.
Things that could get very disjointed for people.
Yeah,
This
I
is
don't
all my
like it to be
fault.
too convoluted, actually.
Is it possible that we could, let's say theoretically, like next Saturday or the following Saturday, whatever works for your schedule, we do flat versus globe, and then today if we did, and we'll in that case we'll of course adjust teams and stuff, and then today we instead do moon landing. That way, I know that I'm sorry, Darryl. If you have any off-the-cuff critiques of, you can of course give those, but save your presentation. We can still use it for a future week, but I'm sorry I screwed this up. Are you guys okay with that just for today?
I'm happy with that.
Okay. As long as Darryl is, I'm quickly.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, so we're doing moon landing.
Yep. And then what I will do is we'll go on screen in a minute. By that I mean about 30 seconds. It sounds like Flatzoid and Marcus, you'll be going first if that works for you guys.
100%.
Do you have a preference on Flatzoid being the first person that goes? There's a little bit of feedback, and I don't know where it might be from me. So let me see if it's my mic. It might be just me. I think it is for me. So I'm going to go on screen. I'll kick it over to you, Flatzoid, and then during your guys' openings, when you for transferring it to your partner, namely the second person on the same team for the same opening, you guys can feel free to do that on your own. Like I won't jump into that. I'll just jump in to switch it to the opposing team. So thanks for being here, guys. Thanks for your flexibility and patience with my error on that. And I promise I'll make it a two. We'll get you in for a new one. But we're going to switch it over in 3, 2, 1. Ready, set, here we go. Hey, everybody. Today we're debating whether or not the moon landing was a hoax, and we are starting right now with Flatzoid and Marcus Allen. Thanks for being with us. Flatzoid, the floor is all yours for your opening.
Hey guys, good to see you. Thanks for coming. Thank you for the debate. I did prepare for something else, but more than happy to move over to the moon landing. Just want to quickly get my presentation up if I can find where it is. I had it up. Okay. Share screen, but I really appreciate everybody being here. Appreciate Marcus for being my partner as well. I look up to him tremendously when it comes to the moon landing things. So thank you, Marcus, for this, and everybody. Yeah, I hope you enjoy this. This is an old presentation, so let's get through it. We have about 6 minutes each. Can you guys see my screen?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
So why the moon landings never happened? Well, the arguments I have against the moon landings are simple. According to the second law of thermodynamics, if the Earth is considered an open system, the air on Earth would seek the available space presented to it. So if they were able to go to the moon, they would have to violate the second law of thermodynamics and therefore claim that they are able to demonstrate that gravity that's not a force or seen as a force for 110 years would be able to hold gas down indefinitely and thus overcome entropic law. Okay, so if Earth was considered a closed system, the air wouldn't be able to leave and there we can breathe, but then also the astronauts would not be able to leave Earth to go to the moon. So now I've got an argument for why I say astronauts are lying. If you look at Donald Petit, he claims to have seen the stars and nebula and so forth with space because we have a lot of differences in what the astronauts claim to see while they are in space. Mike Massimano says he also claims that Donald Petit has seen the stars, nebula and so forth from space. Neil Armstrong claims it's pitch black and you see no stars, which is odd. Then you have Buzz Aldrin. He claims space is a deep black but with a velvet sheen to it. Chris Hadfield, he's the one that says space smells like steak, burnt steak or something. He says he also claims space is deep black with a velvet sheen to it. Michael Collins is actually an interesting one because he can't remember seeing any stars. I would imagine if you're going to a place that you're excited to go for, you're going to remember if you see stars or not. And he later stated that he did see stars in a book after, but it's weird because it's doublespeak. So why would they all contradict one another's observation if they really did go where they claim to go? Stars or not no stars, which one is it? Secondly, the Van Allen radiation belts would give major problems to the film using the Hasselblad cameras. The Apollo detectives, woohoo, you guys rock, tested film with radiation and found it to fog the film with a green tint to it. Do we see these aberrations happening to the film based on the Apollo missions? No, we don't. Also, the film, when it's exposed to radiation, it usually messes up, and that's why you usually have X-ray bags to protect it. So, how did they get professional perfect shots, which would be difficult even for normal amateur photographers today without that bulky spacesuit? How did they get it right with not even being able to move their fingers correctly? Also tested in the vacuum, it found changes in contrast and color balance, which would make sense because in a vacuum, liquids tend to gas out and therefore you get these effects, as you can see. and then also you get they refuse to swear on the Bible, and then also you have to accept this guy Gary Fong is a very well accepted professional Hasselblad photographer. He says it would be impossible to work. How would you change the film in a dust environment? If anybody has worked with a film camera, you would understand that you have to keep it as uncontaminated as possible with light or debris. So as soon as they open, remember, the astronauts even have their suits so fine that the fine particles even get through all that they have issues for long-term breathability is bad for lungs. So imagine that going into the fine parts between the dust for the film. How do you change film in a vacuum? That's exactly what I'm saying. If you look at the temperatures, that's also a huge problem. And then at violet, that's practically all I had for my thing. Then you can go ahead, Marcus.
Thanks, Flat. You've promoted the Apollo detectors very nicely, for which I'm much appreciative, being one of them myself. And you covered the major problems, except maybe one, the heat in space. We're all told that space is a vacuum, it has no temperature, which is correct, until you put something in space to have a temperature, such as a spaceship. Then it has a temperature. But humans can only really operate productively at around 20 degrees centigrade, 60, 70 degrees Fahrenheit. That's an ideal temperature for humans to work at. If the internal temperature of a spacecraft in space, heated by the radiant energy of the sun, which can be calculated at 246 degrees Fahrenheit, about 120 degrees centigrade, you've got a non-working environment. You've got a very good temperature to cook a chicken at, but not for humans to work. So you have to remove the heat. Vacuum, as you mentioned, is a very good insulator. So where do you dump the heat? You can't dump it in a vacuum. You have to irradiate it away. It's the only way to remove heat in a vacuum. In order to radiate heat away, you have to have an equivalent temperature. You get the spacecraft receives temperature, it absorbs it, it also eliminates it. So what's the temperature in the middle where those two things happen? 246 degrees Fahrenheit. It's a real problem. So you can use water, you can allow water to evacuate into space, and it will have a reduction in temperature. But you've got to have quite a lot of water to do it, and there wasn't enough carried, certainly not in the spacesuits. And this is one of the major problems. The other being, as you've already mentioned, photographic film. Here is photographic film. Photographic film was what was used on Apollo. It was using ectochrome transparency material. Reversal film is otherwise known as. And the example you showed of the testing that was carried out using photographic film in a vacuum demonstrated that the emulsion, which started life as a liquid, outgasses, and it affects the color balance of the film. But we don't see that happening on any of the 5,771 photographs allegedly taken on the lunar surface. That doesn't seem to apply. Yeah, some of the pictures don't show very much. Some of them are slightly out of focus. But they don't show vacuum damage, let alone radiation damage. Radiation is what creates photographs. It affects the emulsion coated onto a film. The emulsion starts life as a liquid, which it does, and it then can outgas, which it does, in a vacuum. The film will not work. Digital cameras, on the other hand, are quite different. We should not confuse the two. Digital cameras and film cameras are completely different systems. They should not be confused, and if they are, somebody is misleading you. So you've got the heat, the radiation, and vacuum. Those are the three major problems. They weren't overcome at the time of Apollo, and they haven't been overcome now. The records that NASA have available, and we've studied a great deal of them, thousands of pages, the testing was conducted by Massachusetts Institute of Technology, Kodak, Arizona State University. Many people around the United States were conducting tests for NASA, and the tests were very accurate. When they tested film, they said the film must be protected. It will be damaged in space. Now, one of the criticisms of the idea that NASA faked the moon landings is that how do you keep this secret from the 400,000 people who worked on Apollo? It's very simple. They didn't have a secret to keep. They were doing the very best job they could. It's not 400,000 people. It was probably nearer 2 million people. 400,000 people were directly employed by the many contractors around the America. Because one of the purposes of Apollo was to spread the work right across America, from Seattle in Washington State, where Boeing made the rockets, down to California, where a lot of the testing was done, right across to Texas, where the control center was, up to Florida, where the launching was taking place, up to New York, where Grumman were building the lunar landers, right across America. There were thousands of people involved, and they were very proud to work on this program, as set out by John Kennedy in May 1961. He was now a martyred president. He was dead. Therefore, they wanted to fulfill his order to land a human on the moon and return him safely to the Earth. Landing a man on the moon was not really a problem. It had been humans hadn't been on the moon. Robot satellites had been launched. Robot equipment had been launched. It's not difficult. They can be protected. I toured satellite manufacturing facilities and I've asked them, how do you protect against radiation? They said it's very simple. We use lead, we use gold, we use various known levels of protection against the electronics, and they work. Temperatures are not a problem for satellites. Temperatures are a problem for humans. You have to place Apollo in the context of its time, late 1960s, early 1970s. What else was happening? The Vietnam War was getting extremely unpleasant. The Cold War was ramping up deliberately. The space race was ongoing. America had to be seen to succeed. Therefore, they faked it on the grounds they couldn't do it. They didn't have the facility, they didn't have the experience, they didn't have the engineering understanding to put humans, I'm not talking about unmanned craft, I'm not talking about satellites, I'm talking about human beings, us delicate little creatures who need a lot of protection when we're out in space. They couldn't provide it. So they had to fabricate it live on television. Don't forget, it's all live on television. Yeah, I've seen gorillas climb the Empire State Building live on television in King Kong. I've seen dinosaurs chasing kids around kitchens in Jurassic Park. Is that real? No, of course it's not. I've seen men walking on the moon. Is that real? No, of course it's not. I'm not saying Hollywood had much to do with it. Some of the technicians involved may have been consulted, and they certainly were, because it was necessary. The filming of Apollo 11 was more than likely done at Cannon Air Force Base in New Mexico, near Clovis. There's a life-size creation of the Sea of Tranquility called at Cinder Lake, near Flagstaff in Arizona. There's no reason to believe that they weren't trying to do it, but they couldn't succeed. They didn't have the technology. They didn't have the ability. So my personal summary of the whole Apollo moon landings is that it was a brilliantly executed propaganda exercise to demonstrate to the world the superiority of American technology. In that, it succeeded brilliantly. Landing man on the moon, forget it. Hasn't happened. Didn't happen then, hasn't happened since. So
Thank you
Apollo,
very much.
okay,
Sorry.
I hope that presents my position fairly accurately. I'd like to hear some criticism of it.
Thank you very much for that opening statement. And just a couple of quick housekeeping things before we jump into the opening from the moon landing supporters. Want to say, if it's your first time here, welcome to Modern Day Debate. We are a fully neutral debate platform. I'm your host, Dr. James Coons. We are excited to have you here. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button for many more upcoming debates. You don't want to miss them. With that, we're going to kick it over to Fight the Flat Earth and Daryl. I want to say a huge thank you to all of our speakers for being here. Fight the Flat Earth and Gerald, floor is all yours.
Darryl, would you go first or second up to you?
You go ahead after Effie.
No worries. Right, I'm going to switch camera over, James, so I can present what I'm showing.
You got it.
Right, so let me get this up so it's on the right screen. One sec. No, that's not the right screen. That's still not the right screen. Sorry, my computer has frozen. 1 second. Of course it has.
No problem. Folks, if you haven't yet, hit that like button. We appreciate your support, and hitting like does help us out, so we appreciate that. And Fight the Flat Earth, floor is all yours.
Okay, I'm really not going to with all the conspiracy about, start trying to prove that America was great and all that. I just go with evidence that's available and look at that. And the killer evidence that, for me, destroys any notion the moon landing didn't happen is this video. And this is Apollo 16, and they call it the Grand Prix. And this is a really good shot. The moon buggy goes back and forward in front of the camera, and you see the stuff shooting up from the back of the wheels. The stuff shooting up from the back of the wheels is the important part, because they form what is known as a rooster tail. If we can actually pause it at the right point, maybe get it here. As it goes along, it shoots up the dust behind it, the regolith, in a very particular pattern that's called a rooster tail. And if you watch here, just at the back wheel, as it shoots up, you see that very distinctive pattern. That is, you might not realize it, but that's the killer. That pattern coming off the back of those wheels destroys any notion that the moon landing didn't actually happen. It's been analyzed, and the analysis basically shows that the trajectory of the particles coming off the back of the wheels shows two things. One, that it was in an atmosphereless environment. Otherwise, they would have shown resistance, and they didn't. They followed a trajectory that showed that there was no resistance. It was a simple parabolic trajectory. And they followed a trajectory that matched a gravitational acceleration of what they would expect on the moon. And they compared it with what you would have on Earth. This particular graph here measured dust trajectory clip 1, which is literally from the clip that I just showed here, shows that all the blue dots are the particles that they have identified and followed the trajectory of. They fall within the two curved lines that show the gravitational potential on the moon. If on Earth, you would either have these two green lines. That was what you would expect on Earth, depending on the speed and the conditions on Earth. It shows air resistance, and it shows a much quicker acceleration towards the ground, which is what you would expect on Earth. But every single one of those particles traveled in the trajectory that showed there was no resistance, and it was in an environment where the gravitational acceleration was much less and matched what we expect on the moon. And that's basically it. For me, that is the absolute killer. The only response is, well, they faked it. Well, if they faked it, how did they remove the atmosphere from this entire massive thing? That would need to be answered, because this was filmed in something that had no atmosphere, and the proof is the analysis that has been done on those trajectories of the particles. So either they built a massive studio, removed all the atmosphere from it, and somehow reduced the acceleration towards the ground, or this was filmed in an environment where the trajectory was dictated by having no resistance and a gravity less than we have on Earth. And that's it. For me, that is the absolute killer. I've gone through so many moon landing denying nonsense, and this is it. There's no response for this that matches the physics of the universe that we live in that can debunk it being on the moon. And with that, over to you, Daryl. I think you're muted, Daryl.
My fault. Sorry about that. Let me switch it over. I was just getting a little bit of feedback, so I muted everybody. Daryl, I just asked you to unmute, and then what we'll do is later, if we're able to fight the flat Earth, I'm sure that these photos will come up again. That people had said that the resolution was because I had to stretch it so much because it was just your screen showing it. If you're able to,
so if you would like to put them up at any time, but yeah, if you need them displayed again, I can make them more clear.
you got it. And Daryl, the floor is all yours as well.
Is everything sharing okay?
Yes, I just have to adjust a little bit because 2 moments. And then I think what we'll do, maybe the rest of the debate, is if everybody just uses the standardized screen share. I'm just going to quick adjust to the standardized screen share again. Thanks for your patience. And Daryl, the floor is all yours.
Hello, everybody. My name is Daryl Lee Berry Jr. It's a pleasure to be back on MDD. Good to be debating with Fight the Flat Earth. I'm a fan, and good to have James be a moderator again. It's been a long time. So I'm a physics student, astronomy student. Some of you all know that from our last time. So I can't say I'm an expert on moon landing, but I'm familiar with the topic a bit. So we'll be debating the moon and whether the astronauts went to the moon. And basically, 2 things come to mind for me when I think about how we know or understand that the moon landing happened. So one is the fact that we have satellites in space. China has satellites in space right now where they're taking pictures of the moon landing locations, the location spots. They can see the effects of the astronauts being there. So that's one thing right there. Another thing that we have as far as moon landing, at least knowing that we went there, is the fact that, and hold up, see why my screen is sticking. If I need to stop sharing one moment here so I could get this to, there we go. So hopefully that still stays the way it was. Another thing that we have is we have the laser reflectors that the astronauts left on the moon. So basically, when they were there, they left these laser reflectors on the moon that are built in such a way that when light goes into it at any angle, it's reflected back at the source of the light. So these things are designed similar to how the plastic or glass structure is on our tail lights, for instance. So that if somebody's coming in behind us and they flash at night, the light that's coming from that car will go back to them so they can see us there rather than bouncing off at an angle. So a similar technology, but more advanced, was used on the moon, and people have utilized those reflectors ever since they were left there to shine laser light there to find out exactly how far the moon is away from us. That's how we have very exact distances for the moon. We could use those things to, for instance, predict lunar eclipses, solar eclipses with the distances and calculating everything. So those are 2 things that come to mind that are pretty clear that we went there. So I look forward to doing as Marcus said and challenging them on some of the things they presented.
Thank you very much for that opening as well. I want to say, as I mentioned, huge thank you to our speakers. They are professionals. They have done a tremendous job. I want to encourage you folks, check out their links in the description box. Be aware that their links are in the description box right now. What are you waiting for? But we're going to continue on with the debate. Thank you very much, gentlemen. The floor is yours for open dialogue.
Can I make a couple of points about what Daryl has just said? He referred to the Chinese pictures. What that actually showed was NASA's lunar reconnaissance orbiter photograph of the Chinese landers. It wasn't the Chinese photographing the Apollo landers. They've never done that. All China have ever said is we have seen on the moon traces of Apollo. They didn't say what they saw. They have never shown a photograph of any of the Apollo landers allegedly on the lunar surface because they're not there. But they don't want to upset America, so they will go along with the story. China are doing some very interesting activity on the lunar surface because they landed there. They're not being caught. They're not being helped by America, but they have never said they have seen Apollo landers on the lunar surface. Nor have India, nor have Japan, nor have Israel. All of those nations have sent unmanned craft to the lunar surface. And as for the laser reflectors, well, forget it. You don't need a laser reflector to bounce a laser off the lunar surface. It was done by the Massachusetts Institute of Technology in 1962.
Actually, before that, in Project China and World War II.
Yeah. They were bouncing radio signals off the moon, but it was a secure means of communication. So just because allegedly a lunar laser reflector on the lunar surface doesn't mean that anybody put it there. The Soviets launched unmanned craft in 1970 which had laser reflectors on them as well. Made by the French, as it happened. So laser reflectors are not any example of men landing on the lunar surface. I'm sorry about that. But you need to check the records to show that MIT did it 7 years before Apollo and did it successfully. You could bounce a laser off the moon. It's not rocket science.
Sorry, okay. So quickly respond to that, the first thing you said about...
Actually, let me respond to that since they're actually directed at me. Because I was thinking about China, then that's my mistake. As far as the reflectors, how does anything you said disprove that scientists are sitting like beings of reflectors that the astronauts left there? I don't hear where that disproves that in any way.
No, what I'm saying is that you don't need a reflector to bounce a laser off the lunar surface. That's all.
No, that's not what that wasn't my point there. The point was that the astronauts left reflectors on the moon, and people have been using those specific reflectors to reflect lasers back. Nothing you said addressed that. So it's similar to if I was to say, if I was to tell you, I went to the store in my car, and you told me, you know what, you don't have to go to the store in the car because I'm in the car. That doesn't change the fact that I went to the store in my car. So what I want you to do is actually address the fact that astronauts left solar reflectors there, and scientists are specifically using those reflectors so we know they're there because they're left at specific locations. If you shine a laser at the moon, it's going to go to a certain place. And if you shine it at the reflector, it's going to reflect back differently because, as I said, it's designed in such a way that if you shoot the beam at it, it'll shoot directly back. So the strength of the beam you receive back from a reflector will be different from just off the lunar surface and things like that. So nothing you said has addressed that. But yes, they can do it in other ways. Yes, they're also doing it with the reflectors that the Apollo astronauts left on the moon.
Okay. Now, what diameter is a laser beam when it reaches the moon?
I haven't looked at the actual diameter. It's wider, though.
It's 2 kilometers. So if that laser reflector is about half a square meter, which it is, we can see the pictures of it, the percentage of light being received by that reflector is so tiny that to then be reflected back to Earth, well, the laser beam is a diameter of about 20 kilometers. The percentage of light being received on Earth, it takes the best part of 8 hours for a receiver on Earth to receive sufficient light, photons of light, from the moon to record any signal at all. It's not like shining a laser as a mirror and getting an immediate reflection back. That's not the way it works. Not on the moon.
So that's you're saying things there, but do you have any evidence for the things that you just said?
Well, there's plenty of evidence.
Well,
You are just kind of saying things, and
I can find the evidence. It would just take a little while to find it. I'm just quoting what scientists have confirmed many times, that a laser beam fired from Earth has a diameter of the best part of 2 kilometers by the time it reaches the lunar surface.
well, that's the sort of thing. Because they've done this since World War II, okay, that means they still do get receiving that. Now, as Marcus is saying, because it's 2 kilometers wide, that reflector is, I mean, you're not going to get even 1% of it reading back. So that reading getting back would just be doing a surface reading anyway. So you are making the question that they did put lunar reflectors on there in the first instance. You haven't proven it to exist. You're just making a claim and coming up to be done something that hasn't been validated yet. That's it.
okay, so there's a lot of that is easily debunkable. When you get a signal back from the retroreflectors, it's a lot stronger than you get back just from the surface of the moon. You are correct. It's an extremely small amount that you get returned back. In fact, it's about 1 photon in every 10 to the 17 photons. So about 0.000000000000001% sent from Earth then gets returned to the telescope. That's why they designed very specific, very, very accurate and sensitive detectors specifically for that, to be able to detect the signal they would expect coming back from the retroreflectors compared to not hitting the retroreflectors. They've been bouncing signals off the moon for a long time, but when they put the retroreflectors there, they were able to get a stronger signal back that is, it's still extremely weak, but still stronger than just the moon on its own. So there's no problem with saying that it's hitting the retroreflector, because they've got these things that detect those tiny amount of photons back. That's why they designed that. And they can tell if it's hitting the retroreflector or not, even with the extreme divergence of the beam.
Well, the thing is, we do, because obviously I don't believe it, but basically, firstly, would there be different type of, can there be different type of rock on the moon, which would give a different reflective capacity?
They would aim at certain areas that they wouldn't know when regolith is, but yes, there is different rocks that reflect different certain bits, but still not as strong as what you would have for a specially designed retroreflector. But the interesting, as the time's gone on, the signal you get back from the retroreflector has actually got weaker, because it's got destroyed by solar radiation and things like that, as they were expecting over time. But they can still say, well, based on the degradation, this is the signal that we expect to get back, and it is that signal compared to anything else that is naturally occurring on the moon.
So could this be the rock that's giving that reflective property and not the reflective?
Well, there isn't a rock that's as reflective as the retroreflectors. They were designed to be exponentially more reflective than anything that naturally occurs on the moon. And in a location that was actually relatively level and with just kind of regolith and stuff around it on purpose. So they were able to determine if they were hitting the retroreflector.
Another question for that. Because it's been 50 years or something, would it not be covered in lunar dust by now?
That's one of the things that's making it degrade. I mean, regolith is very sticky, but there isn't an atmosphere to move the regolith around. So it's not like wind that's blowing the regolith onto the retroreflector. So there's going to be very little of the moon's surface that has then gone onto the retroreflectors. The degradation would more likely be through solar radiation and things like that than actual regolith getting onto it, because there's nothing there to lift the regolith onto it.
Okay. Anyway, I failed to see where you've actually showing reflective there. You're just making chins and then claiming validity based on that assumption. Like I said, it could be different rocks. It could be just the amount is so small that even that percentage based on that large target, degradation will be there. Like I said, there is lunar dust that does move on the Earth, because there is a little small amount of atmosphere on the moon's surface, which would require regolith to move around. Even when the astronauts are there and they suffer with lunar regolith, the lunar surface dust, every pore of their suit. When they actually try and take the suit off, it's dust everywhere inside because of the dust moving around on the lunar surface.
Yeah, but that's obviously because they were actually moving around and disturbing the dust. There is no, there's a tiny element of tiny portions of gas attached to the moon because there's no atmosphere, there's no wind, there's no weather systems. There is literally nothing that moves around the regolith on the moon apart from being disturbed by something else. The reason the astronauts got it in their suit is because they were moving around. And then when they took it off, when they got out of the suits in the airlocks, they got touched by the regolith that was stuck in their suit. There's no atmosphere. Like there's literally no wind on the moon, like there is on Mars or on Earth. Well, that only moves because of inertia. Over there, it moves, and there was nothing to stop that wave of energy.
Marcus actually presented an interesting thing about that flag before, about the flag being wet. Have you guys ever seen that argument before?
Yeah, how we stick to things that were discussed within the openings. If that's okay, rather than bringing in extra stuff into our
I'd like to ask a question about before we leave the reflect the topic. Flatzoid, I heard you give the common flat rebuttal of just saying it could be this or it could be that. So let me ask you in general, if a scientist performs an experiment and gets a result, and you say, well, it could be this, do you think that just saying it could be this trumps whatever is done in reality? Or do you think saying it could be this just means that whatever is done in reality is not existing anymore?
I would look at it to see if it is very scientific.
Yeah,
What could be the hypothesis for the experiment? And then we'll look at it that way to see if it is indeed scientific. Because if
scientists have sent lasers to the moon and not
science, that's not science. The problem most people you guys have is pseudoscience, and you're trying to claim it as science. Now, when you claim reflective, that's just a claim. You haven't backed that claim up with anything other than circular reasoning. That's not scientific. Science is not based on circular reasoning. It's based on cause and effect.
Let's back up. What I'm saying is, I've seen scientists demonstrate sending a laser to the moon and getting a signal back and showing the signal on their equipment that matches. They don't just send like random signals. They send signals that have a certain cadence to it. So that when they receive it back, they know it's their signal, right? And they know what the reflector is going. They know the strength is going to be. So what I'm asking you is, given that scientists have done this thing and shown the results, do you think you're saying it could be a reflective rock? Do you think that just wipes away anything?
Yes, because the thing is, at first it's not science, so it doesn't matter if the scientist did it. Janitor can do it to get the same results. The point is, it's more plausible that it's a type of rock that gives reflective surfaces than it is for a reflector that goes there. Remember, you guys haven't even shown it true that there have been on the moon people get reflected down. You're just making a claim and expecting people to adapt to that claim because of it. That's not really how it works.
No, I feel like I'm done with that topic. It went to the moon, and again, there is no moon on the moon's surface that gives the reflective properties that the retroreflectors do, according to all of science. And also, it is science because they made a prediction and tested that prediction, which is literally the foundation of science. You just denying that things happen and saying it's more plausible than this does not dismiss the things that were done. It's literally just denial on your part. The claims of retroreflectors are commonly known. And there's plenty of evidence to show this. Videos and pictures of the astronauts putting down, which I know you guys would just say was fake, but there's evidence that it happened. More evidence that it happened is the fact that we can predict what we will get back when we hit the retroreflectors, and we get that back compared to what we did before the retroreflectors were placed, which was just getting signal back from the moon itself. And they're different. We can tell they're different. We can even follow the degradation of the equipment that was put there. Right. Now, does it absolutely 100% prove that people went there and put it on the moon? Well, apart from the videos and pictures? I guess not. It could have been robotic drones that went and put a retroreflector on the moon. But the question on whether there is a retroreflector or not on the moon is a fact. According to the testing of predictions of what would happen if you fired a laser at it and got it back. I'm not saying that it wasn't humans that put it there. I followed the evidence of the pictures and videos showing them putting it there. But can I prove to you those pictures and videos were not fake beyond your standard of evidence? No, I don't think anybody can.
Just one point on faking pictures. You showed the Apollo 16 Grand Prix and presented that as conclusive evidence for man being on the lunar surface.
Well, actually, I presented the analysis of that video as the evidence.
Okay, now, do you know for certain that that was a real life-size lunar rover driven by a named Apollo astronaut? Do you know for certain?
According to all the evidence, it shows that it does. Was I there watching them do it myself? No. But you are now creating an impossible standard of evidence that no one should be expected to follow. The evidence presented following the analysis of the particles shows that it was done in even if it was smaller than we're saying, the particles still follow the trajectory where there is no atmosphere and where gravity was of what we expect on the moon rather than Earth. You just saying, can I personally prove that astronauts actually did it and it wasn't just a miniature buggy, is just denialism that really doesn't need to be engaged with.
It does, because if you examine... No, shut up. Wait a minute.
Tell me to shut up.
Well, okay. Please let me speak.
Okay, but
if you examine the film of that buggy, the lunar rover and the astronaut in it, you will see that he is not moving his arm. It does not move. He keeps it at one level the whole time. It's not on the controller, which is in the center. That arm doesn't even balance when he goes over a big hole. So even the suspension doesn't work as people say. Just examine that particular film closely, and you'll.
I have a 4K version of it here, 4K 60 frames per second upgraded, and you can literally see frame by frame. If you want, I'll take you through it, and you can see his arms moving exactly as you would expect. Also, do you know the specifics of the engineering of the buggy and what movements are required compared to what they're hitting? It's not like they're just driving a standard car on Earth. So, do you have any evidence of that claim? Can you present an analysis of the video that shows the arms not moving? Because I can present a video right now and show you frame by frame that the arms are moving to show that you're wrong. But I will first give you a chance, Alan, to present your analysis of the video to back up that claim.
I prefer to be called Marcus, by the way.
Marcus, by the way. I apologize, you have two first names, it's very hard.
Because so I'm not confused with the big American football player of the same name. He's big and black, and I'm big and black. You can tell the difference. Marcus is my preferred name.
I apologize. It's my mistake. Okay, I apologize.
Can I ask you a question? You demonstrated to fight the fighter that your standard of evidence is out there. So would you describe to us what it was like when you went to space and personally verify that no equipment could last out there in the temperature of the sun? What did you do? How did you personally verify? What was the process of going to space doing that and knowing for sure that material can't last out there or human?
So, I haven't said that material can't last. I'm saying that humans have a real problem lasting in space, not equipment.
Yeah, exactly. So, exactly. So, that's when I was speaking. So, how did you personally? So, you must have personally went out in space and equipment and known that humans could last out there. Would you describe what was the